Hello and welcome to another edition of Weather or Not. I'm your host, Filippo Formica, joined alongside our forecaster, Brendan Pham. And Brendan, we had a powerful storm move through midweek across the Commonwealth. Are we going to be seeing that again this weekend?
Yeah, well, it's not looking like we're going to see a big storm again this weekend. In fact, it's looking a little bit drier in the forecast, but it might be a little bit windy heading into Saturday.
Looking forward to hearing more about that in Brendan's forecast. But first, nature in the news.
The Melrose Fire in Polk County, North Carolina ignited this past Saturday and has grown to over 700 acres as of this Tuesday. The fire is currently 91% contained with over 120 firefighters from 50 different area departments. The firefighters have used various methods to contain and extinguish the fire, such as pouring large buckets of water from helicopters and backburning vegetation. However, they have not used the fire retardant powder that is often released in bigger wildfires out in the western United States. The fire was sparked when a tree fell on a power line and ignited. Limited rain and very low relative humidity this past weekend allowed for prime conditions for the wildfire to spread. However, no destroyed structures nor injuries were reported. Rain on Wednesday would help tame the wildfire, and more precipitation is expected in the upcoming week.
A powerful storm system blew through the central United States on Wednesday, creating blizzard conditions throughout Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. Road conditions quickly deteriorated and multiple pileups were reported. Interstate 80 between Omaha, Nebraska and Des Moines, Iowa was declared impassable due to a multiple car pileup near Newton, Iowa. Another pileup occurred on Interstate 35 near Huxley, Iowa, in between Des Moines and Ames, two major regional centers. The blizzard caused 28 crashes and the loss of 2 lives.
Deforestation in the Amazon forest has led to the wet season becoming wetter and the dry season becoming drier. The forest there plays a large role in the local water cycle. Plants and trees add additional water to the atmosphere through a process called evapotranspiration, where water from the vegetation evaporates directly into the atmosphere. With less vegetation in the Amazon forest, less water is getting into the atmosphere, resulting in less rainfall potential. Tree clearing is also allowing the sun to heat the ground more, which creates an airflow that leads to a localized area of low pressure. During the wet season, that area of low pressure draws in moisture from surrounding areas and results in more rainfall across the deforested area. During the dry season, the decreased evaporation leads to less rainfall area-wide, leading to drier conditions. A reduction in rainfall could lead to even less vegetation cover, which may exacerbate this positive feedback loop that is occurring. Even with deforestation, climate models are becoming better at modeling how this feedback loop may affect areas on a global scale. After an active midweek, the weekend is looking a little bit drier, but maybe a little bit windy. But first, let's head off and see what Friday has to offer. Mainly dry across Pennsylvania, but we have a little bit of a weak low pressure system that will be trying to move its way eastward as we head later into Saturday. But this, on Friday, will just feature some mixed rain and snow showers across the northern half of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, but otherwise not very impactful for those areas as it will be pretty light. Across the rest of the Northeast, we're looking pretty dry. Again, a few high clouds associated with the warm front that will be trying to slide eastward with time, but otherwise it will be quite dry on Friday. Now on Saturday, high pressure behind that low pressure system comes in, low pressure system exits, and we might see a few lingering upslope snow showers across the Alleghenies and the Laurel Highlands, but it will be windy. The snow will eventually dissipate through the day. The wind will be cranking as we head later into Saturday afternoon and even into the evening hours. And with that, a reinforcing shot of cooler air is possible across especially the northern tier of Pennsylvania and as you head further northward into New York and across parts of New England. But again, it will be dry heading into Saturday and even into the afternoon hours with mostly sunny skies across the Ohio Valley with a few more clouds across Virginia and points further south. Now as we head into Sunday, high pressure again dominates. We do have a little bit of a system that might try to produce a few snow showers up in Canada, but that's not going to be very much of a worry across much of Pennsylvania and across the Northeast. Again, it still will be breezy, but it won't be as windy as Saturday, and temperatures will be rebounding heading into Sunday. And so with high pressure dominating, mostly sunny skies. In fact, sunny skies will be dominating across the Ohio Valley, and then we might see a few clouds, mixed sun and clouds here across Pennsylvania. Further south into southeastern, southwestern Virginia, there will be a low pressure system that might try to sneak northward, but it's looking quite dry with high pressure dominating across much of the mid-Atlantic. Now for Friday, here's your high, about 43 with increasing clouds with that warm front coming in. Friday night is when we might see a few mixed rain snow showers associated with that warm front. No significant accumulations, but it might be quite wintry like Friday heading into Friday night. Then on Saturday, still a little bit below average. Our average time for this time of year is about 43, so we'll be a few degrees below that, but it will still feel cool and nothing like we've seen throughout this past winter. Then through Saturday night, still seasonable, clearing out with a few clouds and a low of about 25. Then Sunday, then we're going to see rebounding temperatures closer to average at around 45. Again, mostly sunny with high pressure dominating across much of the Northeast, and it will stay like that heading into the extended forecast and even into next week. We might see spring-like temperatures heading into the 60s at times. But first, let's get over to a feature made by Luke Snyder on meteorological seasons.
As we wrapped up meteorological winter on Saturday, many new and fascinating statistics are to be discovered about these 3 months. But it can lead many to confusion about what meteorological winter actually means. Starting on December 1st, meteorological winter lasts throughout the months of December, January, and February, with the last day being February 28th or February 29th for a leap year. These 3 months are chosen based on average monthly temperatures. The months of December, January, and February typically record the lowest temperatures of the year for much of the Northern Hemisphere. Thus, these months were selected to represent meteorological winter. The 3-month trend continues into the rest of the seasons as well, with spring encapsulating March, April, and May, summer representing June, July, and August, and meteorological autumn wrapping up the seasons with September, October, and November. With winter being 90 days on a non-leap year, this method leaves less variation between seasons, with spring and summer lasting 92 days and autumn lasting 91. This consistency in days allows for more precision and accuracy in determining climatological and forecasting trends. But how does this differ from astronomical seasons? With astronomical seasons, the dates and months aren't decided based on temperature, but rather the position of the Earth's tilt and the Sun. The practice of measuring time with the planet's movement has been around for thousands of years. The natural rotation of Earth around the Sun forms the basis for the astronomical calendar. The calendar seasons are marked by 2 solstices, winter and summer, and 2 equinoxes, spring and autumn. The 4 seasons mark the points at which the sun passes directly above the equator. Around the date of December 21st, astronomical winter starts and is marked by the winter solstice, whereas summer solstice begins around June 21st. The 2 equinoxes follow this loose 6-month pattern as well, with the spring or vernal equinox beginning around March 20th and autumn equinox around the date of September 22nd. For the southern hemisphere, the seasons are reversed, but all astronomical season changes are observed at the same time for the entire planet. The dates of these seasonal changes can fluctuate more than meteorological seasons, causing each astronomical season to last anywhere from 89 to 93 days. One of the factors that determines when the Earth experiences a seasonal change is Earth's tilt. Earth typically sits at a 23.5 degree tilt. However, its tilt can fluctuate anywhere from 21.1 to 24.5 degrees. This shift in Earth's tilt occurs over a long time, though, reaching these 2 extremes over a roughly 40,000-year time period. This variation in start and end dates makes it much more challenging to forecast and compute data. The use of meteorological seasons helps meteorologists and climatologists better understand the trends that occur within the 4 seasonal time periods of the year in accordance with temperature trends. So, while meteorological winter has come to an end, astronomical winter isn't expected to end until around March 21st for this year. For Weather or Not, I'm student meteorologist Luke Snyder.
After what's looking like a reinforcing shot of cooler air into this weekend, next week is looking even warmer. But first, let's head over to your weekend recap here. On Friday, it's looking to be mostly dry across Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with the exception of a few mixed rain and snow showers into Friday night, associated with that warm front I mentioned earlier that will be trying to make it sneaking its way in on Friday night. Again, not very impactful because that low is quite weak. And the temperatures will be dropping only to about 31, and so it'll take some time for the temps to drop a little bit and allow for any sort of accumulation to occur. But again, not very impactful heading into Friday night. Now Saturday, it's going to be a little bit below average, about 5 degrees or so, since average is about 43, but it will be gusty. That's going to be the big thing. It's going to be quite gusty throughout much of Saturday, and so it's going to be feeling a little bit cooler throughout the day. But on Sunday, the wind begins to lighten up just a little bit. It's still breezy, but it will lighten up a bit, and it will be feeling a little bit warmer with temperatures rebounding towards average at about 45 with a low of about 33. So as the weekend progresses, it will be feeling better, and heading into the extended forecast into next week, look at this. Sun Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we might see a system, but Friday, it's all sunny. And look at these temperatures. Look where the average is. They're well above average, especially by Wednesday. We could be looking at temperatures well into the mid-60s, potentially even upper 60s at times. And so this is what we're going to be looking for. With high pressure mainly dominating, it's going to be very, very strong across much of the central United States. In fact, I want to say that parts of Texas all the way through here in Pennsylvania, it's going to be completely dry. Where on the periphery where the high pressure system is located, that's where it's going to be windy. And so that's where we are. And so it could potentially be windy on Tuesday, Wednesday, but it's still going to be sunny and dry throughout much of the beginning of the work week. Now on Thursday, this is where it might change. We might see a bit of a potent system that might try to work its way through heading into Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon, and even into the Thursday night hours, where we might see a couple lingering showers heading into Friday. But the big story here, it's going to be warming up big time through the next week with just a possible chance of a shower on Thursday. And then Friday, we're looking dry again with maybe a couple clouds. But again, still well above average in the 50s at times and springing into spring. But now let's head over to your Weather Whiz Quiz question.
Every Thursday, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration releases a drought monitor, detailing drought conditions across the entirety of the United States into different categories, and that data goes from the previous Tuesday. So this week's rainstorm across the Commonwealth will be represented in next week's drought monitor, and some areas really need that rainfall.
Yeah, some areas of Pennsylvania, in fact, 10% of Pennsylvania has been in a severe drought, which is a level 2 out of 5. Since November, which is before meteorological winter started in December 1st. And so some of those areas that have been in a drought include parts of the Delaware Valley and parts of the capital region near Harrisburg.
That's a great point, Brendan. So hopefully we'll see those areas get out of that severe drought as those rainy conditions really helped out. Thank you for joining us on Whether or Not this week. Tune in next week for another edition.